Good evening, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at EOS to the US dollar 4-hour chart on Bitfinex. And EOS, I apologize, I haven't given you guys an update on EOS, guys, in the last week or so. I do apologize. I've been kind of busy. And EOS has really been following Bitcoin. The two charts look extremely similar, although today we did have some divergence from that. If I bring up the Bitcoin chart here, you can see, guys, we do have this kind of this similar pattern that EOS had. We had this kind of this consolidation pattern here in this wedge. Price broke down, moved sideways. Consolidation has been rising here a little bit. But if we look at price today on Bitcoin, we can see in the last 12 hours, Bitcoin has been slightly rising in price. And we can see, of course, much more than 12 hours. But if we just look at the last 12 hours, EOS has been dropping. Now, this drop was certainly easy to see. We saw price was rising up here, creating this rising wedge pattern. Anytime you see a rising wedge pattern like this, guys, as it approaches the apex, you can just expect a breakdown. Usually, I would say 70-80% of the time, price ends up breaking down at this rising wedge, if not more. So this was not totally unexpected. We saw price come back down. It hasn't quite reached the bottom of this support, the support area being at 5.26, $5.26. That's where we would expect it to find support, possibly get a nice little bounce here. We did see price come back down, has a little wick here, so we could see if it does end up turning around. To me, though, we didn't get that strong bounce. It looks to me like more than likely we're going to come back down at least another double bottom, possibly testing lower. I'm going to be watching this order block right in here, this prior structure right in here, which goes all the way down to about $5.23. This is the area I'm going to be looking for a possible bounce if price does end up coming back down. And this is a very logical area to expect that bounce, guys. If we go swing low, swing high of this latest structure here, there we go, get right on there. We can see, oh, sorry about that, guys. We can see that the 50 coincides, the 50 fib level coincides nicely with this order block right here, which is a very logical area to expect a bounce. So let's wait and see if that ends up playing out this way, guys. I'm just going to be watching this, and I may add a little bit to my position right in here. I did end up picking up a little bit of EOS when we price. We had this nice little wick. Price came back down here, created almost this double bottom. I ended up picking a little bit up on the way up at about 514, and I've been holding it ever since. Now, I have not, I have raised my stop loss just slightly, but I'm putting my stop loss right now just below this wick, so I'll be in profit either way. I'm putting my stop loss right about 520. Actually, I think I have it set at 518. You never want to do a solid number like 520 or 530 or $6. You always want to have kind of an off number like 518, 517, 519. Just a little tip for trading. You always want to set your stop loss to an odd number. So if you whatever it happens to be, add or subtract a couple cents. Anyway, so I digress. So this is the area that we're looking at, guys, for a possible bounce with the EOS. In my opinion, I might add a little bit to my position. As I said, watching to the upside, guys. If we do get a nice bounce here, of course, we're going to need to take out the top of this prior order structure. We're going to need to take this out right here, take this top out, and then come up, and we're going to have to test this $5.45 resistance area. I do expect this to be a very decent resistance. Price did end up creating a fairly good supply zone right here. If I just pull it up right in here, guys, there is a fairly good supply zone right here, guys. If you're not familiar with what a supply zone is, that's just an area of resistance where there's a lot, where you can just see there's a lot of sell orders, and we can see there's a lot of sell orders, guys, because we can see where price came back down, came back up, wick, and then just broke right down. So we didn't have any of the none of the bodies were able to penetrate this zone at all. Price came back down, price came right back up, wicked into it again, and then a hard breakdown. So it tells you there's a lot of sell orders that are sitting right in here all the way up to about 545. Again, much like Bitcoin, it is kind of ping-pong balling back between two resistance areas. It's trading within a very tight range. That range is getting tighter and tighter, and we need to break above for the bulls to continue. We need, or for the bulls to start to take over. We need to get above at least 545 and start consolidating, not by a wick, but a nice strong break above 545, and then start consolidating on top. Looking down here, guys, I am watching this order block. As I said, if we do break below this order block, break below 522 very decisively, by more than a wick, I should say, then I think we're going to come back down, test this, probably the bottom of this order block right here. We do have a little bit of a little micro demand zone. Demand zone is the opposite of a supply zone, guys. It does does provide support, but it's an area where you can see there should be some buy orders. Now, it's not nearly as strong as this supply zone up here, but we can see price came back down, wick, 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 and then broke right back up. So this is a decent demand zone right here, guys. I would expect there to be some support, and of course, if that breaks down, guys, it's going to come back down more than likely down to this $4.96 support area right here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't want to get too far ahead. So right now we are trading within this range. If I zoom out here to the larger picture, let me pull up EOS here, and we zoom out, guys. We look over here at the daily chart. Give you guys a little better picture. We can see that the bigger picture shows us that price is still trading within a very, very tight range. Now, yes, we did have this breakout of this wedge right here, but overall, EOS is still maintaining itself within this larger wedge, guys, and I would expect as we continue to get traded within a tighter and tighter and tighter range as we approach this apex of this wedge right in here, guys, we would expect a larger move up or down. And you want to be very, very, very careful, guys. If you are entering into a position, if you're dollar cost averaging into a position, guys, this isn't a bad time to do it if you're holding for the long haul. Now, if you're planning on, if you're a day trader and or swing trader, you want to be very careful in here, guys, knowing that price could end up snowballing down very, very quickly if this bottom is taken out. Conversely, we could see a major break to the upside. If this top is taken out, guys, I'm going to start to get very, very, very bullish. And what I want to see if that does happen is I want to see immediately a higher high created and held. So I want to see us break above this zone, consolidate above this zone, and then another run up. Above this zone here, guys, of course, we have a very strong supply zone up here, very strong resistance, a lot of sell orders, more than likely sitting up here between $5.92 and $6. And of course, if we come over here and we look at volume profile, and we pull out here so you guys can see a little bit better. If we look at volume profile, guys, we can see, of course, the point of control is down here. We are above the point of control if we're just looking at this section here. But there is a decent right up here, guys. We can see there's a lot of resistance right in here, just below this supply zone here, just below this area, right about 582, somewhere thereabouts, guys. Starts a lot of resistance in here, guys. So, but if we do break above this zone, break above this supply zone, it's almost there's almost no resistance until we get up to 645, 670 up in this area here. So let's wait and see. And of course, the resistance gets less and less as price climbs higher and higher here. So let's wait and see. We could get it as soon as price does end up breaking out of this. If it does break to the upside, guys, it could start to skyrocket up very, very, very quickly. So let's just, I'm cautiously optimistic if we can break above 546, or excuse me, 545, that price could end up snowballing very, very quickly, and we'll just have to wait and see how it ends up playing out here. I'm heartened. In other words, I'm pleased to see that, like Bitcoin, the market is, retail investors are getting much, much wiser. Of course, there's not a lot of retail investors left, traditional retail investors. There's a lot of mostly just experienced traders and or retail investors that have gotten a lot of experience over this bull market over the last year or so. But why do I say that? I say that because looking at the longs chart here, we can see that longs started to rise. So in other words, as price is falling, traditionally in the past, as price is falling, we would always end up seeing longs chase price. Longs kind of react to that. So longs would typically drop off as prices would fall off the board, and shorts would typically start to rise. We're seeing the opposite. As price falls off, we're seeing people start to buy that discounted price, which is a good, healthy sign, as we can see with the longs coming up here. What's going on with EOS shorts? EOS shorts, like Bitcoin shorts, are falling off the board. So again, that's a healthy sign, guys, that shorts are taking profit, longs are starting to buy at the discounted price. That's a healthy sign of a healthier market, and let's wait and see how this ends up playing out, guys. But it does bode well for the future. Even if we do get lower prices in the short term, long term, guys, the market is getting much, much healthier, in my opinion. So let's just kind of wait and see how this ends up playing out, guys. But these are all good signs for the long haul. Definitely good signs for the long haul. Even not necessarily for the short term, but certainly for the long term. All right, coming out here, looking at our moving averages, guys, we can see that price, this is on the 4-hour chart, we can see that price broke down below the 21-day EMA, below the 50-day moving average as well. It's a rather bearish sign, guys. We do have this long wick here. I'd like to ideally see this thing get well up above the 50-day moving average here and above the 21-day EMA. If we come over here and we look at the daily chart, we can see that price came back down, broke below this 8-day EMA, which again is a rather bearish sign. Strong rejection off the 21-day EMA here. And just like Bitcoin, guys, just like any other chart, what you want to see is this. You want to watch the 21-day EMA, this yellow line here, this 21-day EMA. That's usually what signals if we can get a decisive break above, not by a wick like we saw here, but a decisive break above, that typically, guys, will signal a momentum shift in favor of the bulls. Now, that's just one sign of many that we need to see, but that is a sign. So if we get a decisive break above and we get a daily candle that opens and closes above this 21-day EMA, I'm going to start to get perked up, guys. I'm going to start to watch for a lot of other confirmation signs, but that is a big one. So let's wait and see how this kind of ends up playing out. If we kind of zoom out here, guys, we can see Bollinger Bands are starting to bottleneck just a little bit here again. So that does bode well, and certainly not necessarily bode well, guys, but that does indicate that a larger move may be coming, may be looming. Of course, if we come back here, we look at this daily chart here, zoomed out, that definitely looks like the case here, as I showed you guys earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, I would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.